If we look back to like when this place was dedicated back in 1917, it was a nationwide event, and right here in Niles, Ohio, and it's so I think it's something that needs to continue to be celebrated.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.
This was a dedication to President William McKinley. His good friend Joseph Butler, who's also responsible for the Butler Art Museum in Youngstown, Ohio. The two of them went to school together, and this site was chosen because the little white schoolhouse where they met was pretty much on these grounds. And so this was something then that Butler took upon himself then after the president had passed, that he felt that this needed to be here to commemorate not only his friend but the President of the United States. It was built in 1915 and then dedicated in 1917. That's when it was officially open to the public. Our upstairs cases, on the one side, it tells a chronological story of President McKinley, beginning with, of course, his birth here in Niles. We see pictures of the little white schoolhouse, his home, what that looked like, so people get a sense of like those humble beginnings and it really kind of how it all started. We have a lot of presidential artifacts, both a family and things related to the political campaign, his life story. Also, you'll see these bronze busts that are not only inside the museum but decorate the courtyard, and then of course across the way the library, and then the replica home. And these were all industrialists and those that had something to do with McKinley, either his campaign or contributed to the building of this magnificent place that we're standing in right now. Our next case here is his service in the Civil War, and then like immediately after, and we have a sword that belonged to President McKinley whenever he fought in the Civil War, so pretty proud of that artifact to have that here. The election of 1896, which was the first year that President McKinley would have been elected president, so we have political memorabilia here, different campaign buttons, pins. This case is the second election. McKinley was elected again in 1900. Very short period of time in office, though, because he would have been assassinated shortly after. But this case is dedicated to that second election, though. And here we see a different vice president, Teddy Roosevelt. Final case in the chronological timeline here would be the assassination. So McKinley gave his last speech September 5th, 1901, and this talks a little bit about just his arrival in Buffalo. We see like the final photographs that were taken of the president, and then just some things related to that Buffalo exposition as well, and then just last words of the president, so very much dedicated to those last days. We have a whole case dedicated to the construction of the memorial, and then of course that grand opening in 1917 whenever it was open to the public. So we have a whole case dedicated to that. If we look back to like when this place was dedicated back in 1917, it was a nationwide event, and right here in Niles, Ohio, and it's so I think it's something that needs to continue to be celebrated. This is one of our newest exhibits, and this is McKinley's Cabinet of Curiosities. And this was just various items just that seem a little bit obscure, from postcards of coffins and funeral postcards to pipes with McKinley's face, Pez dispensers, a lot of very different kind of things that when you're thinking of like a president, you don't necessarily think of these particular items. Go visit the monument. I mean, that's of course a big draw. And then our grounds as well. We have a group of women that come in and just do the flowers, and they are just they're spectacular with what they do. Across the way, we do have the library, which is a fully functioning public library, and then we have the replica home. There's artifacts there, and you can have a guided tour, or you could walk through on your own. So there is quite a bit to see, like just on just not only here, but just outside of here too. We have a new logo, which is just nice and crisp and clean. It looks really nice. A new rack card, in a process of redoing like the website, and just giving it like a modern look, but yet just still staying true to like what Butler would have wanted. A lot of events coming up, a lot of community outreach things. I think it's important, especially here. This was built because of McKinley being from this area, and the fact that $500,000 was raised to build this, that came from a lot of just citizens, contributing a couple dollars here and there, just showcases that as well, that it is really was a community effort as well as a nationwide effort to have the place built. We need to give back to the community and have events here and just really get this place on the map. Not only just here within Niles, but like just outside the area too. If anybody has any questions about anything, they could always contact me here at the museum though, as well. As I'm here throughout the week, 9 to 4. They can contact me anytime if they have any questions or about anything upcoming. Come in, learn about McKinley, our 25th president, learn just about this building and just why it is significant, like why it's such a draw, like why we have people literally coming from all over the United States, but yet we don't have as many coming from our immediate area. So I'd like to change that, like to get people in here. Come in and see just like the artifacts that we have, as well as things that are upcoming. We currently having a McKinley funeral train being built for us, and it's going to be fully operational, so that's going to be something to look for by the middle of next month. We have this wonderful flag collection that you see behind me that is on loan from the Sons of the American Revolution, featuring historic flags as well as state flags, and that's also something that is pretty significant as well. There's this entire flag collection. There's 110 up there behind me, so just come in and learn a little bit about those too, and just immerse yourself in history.
BusinessJournalDaily.com. 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Who's the only local bank with a mobile mortgage app? Farmers. Download the app to contact your lender, calculate payments, securely scan and upload documents, and check the status of your loan. Fiercely local, fiercely loyal, Farmers.